So, you finally realize that wasting your time watching One Piece with all its fillers while waiting for a girl that won't respond to you isn't true happiness. And now that we want to change ourselves and find a true way of being happy, one question stands from all the others. Where do I start? How does one start pursuing happiness when all he ever was accustomed to was empty euphoria from social media or the acceptance that happiness is something really hard to achieve? But it isn't. Society in the world is constantly evolving, no matter if you like it or not. We achieve new things each day, like a new soap being invented or a next-gen anime titty game. And as this evolution continues, so do the goals. And because society is of a big influence to us, we start doing the same. Nowadays, after we achieve a goal that had been bothering us for a fuck ton amount of time, we just stay happy for a few hours and then immediately start dreading over the new thing that we have to do, and this cycle continues and continues and continues, which is what leads us to that big One Piece binge watch. We don't find joy in what we're doing. So, if that cycle of achieving something constantly is the burden of our happiness, then how do we stop it? Sure, you can't stop society from evolving and creating new inventions every day, but you can stop yourself. Look, I'm not trying to say that inventing and improving yourself is something that you shouldn't do, but you should forget about trying to keep up with society and look at what you've accomplished so far. We're placing so many goals to ourselves in such short span of time that we don't have time to truly appreciate what we have now. Even if it's not something that you have achieved, look around you. This fucking planet is beautiful. Be happy that we have this wonderful thing that we can look at every day. Unless you live in New York, then maybe your neighbor is pretty, I don't know. Take a second to realize that happiness comes from appreciation of what you currently have and not what you want to have in the future. Your goals are really important, sure, I'm not here to dispute that, but the gratitude of achieving them is much more important. This gratitude is the key to us looking forward to the next thing we set for ourselves rather than being a slave towards our goals, and I am struggling with that as well. Making videos is the thing that makes me the most happy, but I dread making a new one due to either fear of it not being good enough or that you won't like it. But when I focus on that which I've already achieved, I realized that it never really mattered whether the video was good. It was all about expressing myself and sharing with others that had the same philosophy. That's where my true happiness came from. It wasn't from achieving some big project that would get me thousands of subs or anything like that. It was just one simple thing. Even if right now you don't have anything that you've achieved or have a goal in mind, you can still be happy by seeing how lucky we are to experience life. The chances of us being here are so ridiculously low for us to keep worrying about how soon we will achieve our goals, what our next ones are, and when's the next episode of One Piece, so we can escape our worry. And hell, if you don't believe me, I mean, it's fair, I'm just some random guy on the internet that you can't even know for sure that exists in this world. But I can recommend you people that are trusted, and those are Greek philosophers. And for this video in particular, I have Epicurus in mind. Epicurus and Epicureanism is a philosophy surrounding pleasure seeking. It's actually really similar to Stoicism, you know, the one philosophy that is nowadays taken way too out of context and used for cringy self-improvement videos. The main goal of Epicureanism was happiness, and the way to achieve it, that being with pleasure. But those that believe in it were slandered to be alcoholics, drug addicts, and so on, because that's what pleasure is, right? Right? Well, no. Epicureanism had pleasure as its main source of happiness, but that pleasure didn't come from things that led to bad consequences in the future. Sure, smoking may give a lot of happiness for you right now, but in the end, it will lead you to unhappiness. A really simple example of the sort of happiness that Epicurus indulged in was smelling a flower. You smell a flower. It smelled good. It gave you happiness. Are there any bad consequences of it? No. Then you have found pleasure. The opposite is the same. If there is something that gives you pain right now, like, I don't know, stopping TikTok, it will over time give you pleasure by not indulging in it anymore. It aligns with what I've been trying to say this whole video. Appreciate the things that you have done, or if there aren't any, things that come across in nature. Experience the pleasure of it so you are excited and motivated to keep doing whatever you have set yourself to do in this little planet. It's a once in a lifetime experience, so take a second and realize how amazing it is. Thank you for watching and subscribe.